Hey guys, it's Kelsey here. So today I want to propose a hypothesis that in the last 200 years, there was an ancient civilization that was more advanced than we could possibly know. They had free power, they lived in harmony, but where's the proof? Now you might be wondering why this is tied to parasites. I'll explain that at the very end. So just bear with me and let's go down the rabbit hole. Okay, so what is the first clue? Now let's look at the word cathedral. Cathode. Cathode and anode were two electrical components used for converting power into usable electricity. Okay, so an anode is an electrode where oxidation occurs, and a cathode is an electrode where reduction occurs. Now if we remember back, all the roofs of Parliament and every other building were all made of copper. So now we can look at the copper and magnets as a whole, and you can convert electricity just by wrapping a copper wire around a magnet, because a magnet has a usable torus field. So what is a torus field? In geometry, a torus is a surface of revolution generated by revolving a circle in three-dimensional space about an axis that is coplanar with the circle. Now when we apply this to a magnet, it is the invisible field that revolves the magnet that can be clearly seen through these iron filings. So now here's the interesting part. As we live on a giant magnet, as we continue to have a north and south pole, we always have a constant flow of electrons, positive or negatively charged, depending where you need to be, or the flow of which the magnet is currently going in. Every once in a while, they mention a polar shift. Now, when they mention polar shift, this is exactly what they mean, from cathode to anode. So now let's think about who these builders were. Who were the people that built these buildings in, how do you say, divine proportion, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, the master builders. These men were so much more. They followed the divine blueprint, the fingerprint of God, the seashell, the Fibonacci sequence, divine proportions. These men were men of faith. These men were men of God. So what is the Fibonacci sequence? Well, simply put, when a sperm fertilizes an egg, they double. It goes 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. 5 plus 8 equals 13, and infinite numbers continue on. This is your Fibonacci sequence. Okay, now, I want you to think of the word electricity. Electric city. These builders knew so much that they understood ley lines, fault lines, and energetic lines. They knew where exactly to build the cities, all completely in line to harvest the most amount of power on the magnetic grid. All right, Kelso, so where's your proof? Well, the proof is in the ruins of the old world. They left their mark so all of us could know. And it's genuinely universal. You can go from Australia all the way down to Argentina. You can go all the way to Greenland, all the way to Iceland, Finland. This goes all the way into Russia. Like, these were the builders. Everyone had their own distinct building style, but everybody followed the same golden ratio, the same perfect proportions. So what's your proof? Well, most of these buildings all have a history of fires. They're brick buildings. How does a brick building catch on fire? It's absolutely astonishing on the amount of lies that they tell us right to our face that we expect to believe. Like, we can talk about when the Canadians invaded Washington and then burnt the White House down. But that's not the weird thing. When you start looking at the White House and you start looking up old renovation photos, you'll understand that the area underneath was like 3, maybe 4 stories down, and that's what they only excavated. So there's more below. So what does this all have to do with parasites? Well, it has a lot. Hypothetically, If we had a world that was already free power, free energy, and much more in harmony with the world around us, wouldn't it say that our government is trying to keep us oppressed? These are the questions I ask. So now I hypothesize a question about our history, our healthcare, the world around us. So stay with me, stay tuned, tell your friends, and let's break down everything together. Please like, share, and subscribe.